Hi everyone, I am Dr. Deepa. Welcome to my channel Together and Fun. Today, let us see more about the importance of emotional and social well-being from a professional.
Hello everyone. I wish all of you a good day, those who are watching here. Today we are going to discuss something about well-being. Before going deep into the discussion, let us understand little bit what are the different types of well-being. Maybe one is our physical well-being, one is our mental well-being, one is emotional well-being, and one is social well-being. So there are so many types of well-being. So all of us know physical well-being. That means how well or physically fit we are. Mental well-being, how energetic and fresh we feel in our mind. Emotional well-being, how we are able to manage our emotion, our fear, our happiness, our anxiety, and there are so many types of emotion we go through. Then we also have something called social well-being, and how we are socially adaptive, socially happy, and we are engaging in the society. So there are so many kinds of well-being. My question is here, when it comes to physical well-being, we all know how to take care of it. For one example, if you have headache or if you have a stomach ache, do you blame others that why do I have stomach ache or why do I have a headache? Or you just try to take care of yourself by visiting a doctor or by taking some medicine or doing something which will make you feel fit. Similarly, when we lose our mental well-being, do we think in that line? Or my question towards you today, to maintain the mental well-being, we take the responsibility to keep ourselves fit mentally, or we try to make other person responsible to keep our mental well-being. If physical well-being is our responsibility, mental well-being is not our responsibility. Is there someone else who is going to think or who is going to take charge of our mental well-being? And it is applicable to all sectors of society. Whether you are a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, whoever, in our workplace, we are all day, every day exposed to many types of challenges. And I feel it's my responsibility how to deal with that challenges. So how do we go about it? If it is my responsibility, how do I go about it? So I request all of you just to take 1 minute or 2 minutes for the introspection. Introspection means to talk to yourself that why I am not happy, why I am feeling very anxious, since we are talking here about teachers' well-being. Teachership is a beautiful profession. You are connected with the lives, and every day you get rewarded through your work because you are dealing with children. When you deliver a good class, then and there you can see, you can read from the children's eye that how satisfied they are. You take them from one horizon to another horizon. So when we talk about the role of a teacher and how to maintain the well-being of the teacher, where do we lose our mental well-being and what causes anxiety or fear or insecurity or some sort of question mark to our ability? So as I started that to take 1 or 2 minutes for the introspection, so you talk to yourself actually what is causing the problem. Whether it is a virtual classroom or it is a normal classroom, you are the same teacher. You are going to teach, you are going to deliver, you are going to impart knowledge. But there are certain difficulties in physical classroom and certain difficulties, technical difficulties, those who are not very good in technology in the virtual classroom. But teaching is the same. So if in this way, if you can little bit introspect yourself, then I think you will get a better answer to not to get anxious or not to be stressful. Or it is a question of preparedness. I believe the more you are prepared, the more better you deliver. So whether I am well prepared for my next class or not, whether I am resourceful or not. So these are the few questions if you ask, if you find, you will find the answer in yourself and take the steps accordingly. And you will see how happier and how satisfying your job will be. Another thing is that always try to be yourself. Teachers, you are there for kids. You will always there for your kids, not for their parents. During this time, this COVID time, when these online classes are going on, maybe you might be little anxious that other than my student, there might be some adults who are watching me. That's okay. Like how you are teaching your child in front of your husband or some other family members, that's fine. If you are well prepared, you are giving your best, then it's fine. Not to worry whether who is watching or who is not. Then another thing, sometimes during the online coaching or teaching, it becomes little boring because you are not face-to-face connected. So when you are not face-to-face connected, it is better to have some kind of humor while teaching. So crack a joke, tell something, or in between call your student's name. Those who you know are the students who will definitely easily divert their mind or who can be absent-minded easily. You can call their names repeatedly. And you can relate certain things in your teaching to their interest. So in that way, you will have a connection with your students, though you are not physically present with them. Apart from that, little bit of physical exercise, little bit of family time, little bit of quality time with your children definitely improve your mind, and it will give you a very much strong positive energy. Sometimes we become anxious that what the other people will tell me. There are so many things for me to think. Is it important to think that what the other person is going to think about me? Is it worth it? No. Today the class didn't go well or you are not satisfied. That's fine, it happens. Every day we don't perform well. Every day our dal or sabji doesn't come out well. That's fine. But your presence always have a bigger impact on your students than your teaching. Your mental, positive mental frame, your personality, your smile on your face, your empathy, your compassion, those things are more important than the teaching. If you can bring those things, it's very simple. Just try to be at the child's place. Then you will get a better answer. I believe if you can work on this line, you will be in a better frame of mind always. Other than that, few things for the parents. I will definitely request them to be always supportive and helping and encouraging to the teachers, because your child is at the hand of his or her teacher, and a teacher only asks some respect. In front of the kids, the students or your children, if you can encourage the students to how to appreciate the teacher. You appreciate the teacher. If you are sitting with your child, please write a message or to write a mail to the teacher, some appreciative words that today I was with my son sitting from some time to this time and really appreciate you the way you have delivered the lesson. There might be something good in each class. Try to pick up those things so that you will see your child will develop a liking towards the teacher. And when a child develops the liking towards the teacher, he benefits the maximum in a class. Be helping, because you all are from the different aspects of different sectors, different aspects of life. You might be a good mathematician, some are engineers, they are good in science, some are in some other profession who are good in arts. So if you know some facts, some things which is related to the subject, you can have a rapport with the teacher. You can have a communication with the teacher. Help the teacher by providing some resources. Give them whatever you know, so the knowledge gets shared. So if we take care and always expecting a best class, she's a teacher, she should do it. She should come up with the best technique. Yes, she should. But sometimes it doesn't happen. Like how we go to work. Sometimes some days are not the good days. Sometimes it doesn't click. Similarly, for a teacher also, sometimes it doesn't click. Sometimes she's not having lots of resources. So there is nothing wrong to have a connection or to have a communication with the teacher with the proper knowledge, with the proper resource, so that you are actually and constructively a part in that classroom. Thank you, parents, and thank you, teachers.
I hope this content was useful to you. If you are watching this channel for the first time, subscribe. If you like the content, click the like button and share. If you want to see more of these videos, enable the bell icon. Thank you.